Hi guys, it's Jason Horseman at EdTech. I want to present a new feature that Google's put out recently that works really well with our Chromebooks called Google Cast for Education. Essentially, it allows us to create an environment on our desktop computer that is connected to our projector, where students can share their Chromebook screens to us as teachers, and then we can approve those screens and then present them via our computer and our projector to the whole class. Allows individual screens to be shared. Students can present from their desk, or simply we can showcase students' answers, projects they've worked on, something exemplary from a student's Chromebook up to the screen. So the process is pretty straightforward, but there's a little setup on the teacher side. So I'm here in Google. I'm going to go to the Chrome Web Store. And for this to work, I need to download the Chrome Google Cast for Education app. So I'm going to just do Cast for Education here in the search. And you'll see Google Cast for Education comes up as an option. Now this is an app that will run on our desktop. You could also run this app from a Chromebook. So if you're as a teacher using a Chromebook, you could do this, but do know that that Chromebook then would have to be hooked up to a projector for this to really make sense. So I'm going to say add to Chrome, simply add app. Under the apps of what's loaded already on my desktop, I'm going to then select Google Cast for Education here at the bottom. Now it wants to give my computer a name, so I'm going to say Room 1 Mr. Horseman. Essentially, this is what kids will see when they try to connect to your device. I'm going to automatically cast in full screen, and I'm good with Google getting some info. When I save it, it's going to create an environment where my computer is now accepting of cast devices from your class. And so until I do this, when students go to cast, it'll say no devices available. This now enables my device as a castable device. And so they'll be able to connect directly to my computer. And then I can accept their request, and then it pushes it out to my screen and also to the projector, obviously, if that's on. So the first thing I need to do is share. I can't do it just without opening access. So this is nice that it's just not online. You've got options here of emails, groups, or classes. I can put in a specific person's email, and then it will pull up their name, and I can just do one person at a time. But the integration with Classroom is really nice in that, as you saw a second ago, I've got a full classroom. So as long as students have already entered this classroom, if I allow them to request cast, that will add that option for all of the students that are in a Google Classroom. So I'm going to add that. So you see that test class is set up. Teachers can present automatically. So if you had multiple teachers in this class, which I do, students can request access. By default, this is on. You can also by default have students present, but that does mean that if you had this going, they could cast without having to request. And so I always, as a teacher, like to review what the students are going to cast onto the screen before I let it go live. So I'm going to hit save here. Now on a Chromebook that's here in my office, I'm going to search for Room 1, Mr. Horseman. I would go to the three dots up at the top right, similar to on my screen here, and I would say cast. Now once I hit cast, it's going to search for devices on my Chromebook, and I can say Room 1, Mr. Horseman. Now I'm going to let this Chromebook do that because I'm not going to cast my own screen. On the Chromebook, it will send a request to my screen here saying, hey, this person wants to present. Do I deny or accept it? And then there's a little lag because we're talking about live video from somebody's screen. I will allow that person to then cast to my screen. So under the cast now, the student is presenting live. They can present. They can go to websites. The lag is not bad. Honestly, you can see the graphics are slightly downgraded, but really it's great for presenting. Here we've got a Google Slides presentation that was put together on math problems, so students can present and go through a project. They can present a specific screen using a whiteboard app. A lot of opportunities here for teachers. This is just an intro of how this thing works, and so I'm excited to see how teachers